sponsors, staff, or management.
Walk out on that field today. Ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready? Let's go to the house. Let's go to the house. Talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. Too much pride from him. He's a man. He can be hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. I'm telling you, step on the field, man. That's who I am. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. You had no work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready? Let's go to the house. Let's go to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
Oh, no. Game is not over. In fact, it's just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. I brought some help with me today, man, because I need it. What's up, DG?
It's Wednesday. That's where I'm going to leave it. It's Wednesday. We're going to keep it moving.
We ain't gonna keep it moving like that, bro. We're gonna get into it today. We gonna deal with it.
You get into the questions, I'll answer the questions. But as I'm gonna try to ease into it.
You gonna try to ease into it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, interesting NFL trade deadline.
Not much happened.
Yeah, I don't know what all these people were talking about on Twitter and Instagram. It's like, well, they didn't trade Michigan. They didn't trade Wisconsin. What are y'all talking about? Bruh. How you feel, bro? Give me the real, Doc. How you feel?
You know, I last night I wasn't watching anything. I didn't want to watch anything. I turned it all off. I sat on my couch and I played video games and I hung out with my daughter and my wife, she had to go to her friend's house because I told her, I said, we're not watching that in this house because there was no point. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not putting myself through it. Because I knew it wasn't going to be decided that night, no matter what. It wasn't going to be decided last night. We weren't going to walk out of there and have some clarity before we all went to sleep. So I went to sleep at 9 o'clock. I was like, I'm going to bed. And it's a good thing when you do have some things that for my mental state that I get to take that do make me a little sleepy. So I took my medication and I was knocked out. But I woke up around 3 o'clock in the morning and I looked at it and I was like, they still don't have any answer. I'm just not gonna I'm not gonna engage in the silly arguments. I'm not going to engage in that something is going to be different because it's not fundamentally different. And it doesn't matter to me now, like looking at it, it doesn't matter if Joe Biden wins. It doesn't matter if Donald Trump wins because America has told you, by and large, it does not want an agenda that moves this country into a progressive direction. It's telling you when more white folks than ever voted for Trump this time than they did last time. More showed up. 6 million more have shown up already than voted for him last time. So this is not, this is not an aberration. And I saw a great tweet today where somebody said, Trump is not the aberration, Obama was. And so this, and I've said this for a long time. You've heard me. I said, this is who America is. And it's confident and fully happy about revealing itself. People got to stop with this shock and awe and be like, oh, I never knew my country was like this. That's on you, because I knew. And most of the people that you want to walk around with who don't, who have more than melanin than others, we knew. Now, there's some that are in denial of that fact.
Right.
And but to act like this is different, that something changed over the last 8 years, ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. This is what the swings of people in power do. When they feel like there's something that could be slipping away, they just double down. And that's all that you're seeing is the double down of holding on to entrenched power. Why do you think a minority of people, they would never let any minority rule us? But in this country is ruled by the biggest minority of all, old white men. That's the smallest group of people in this country.
Smallest demographic.
They run it. And we saw more white women vote for Trump than they did last election. That number went up. So unless you're going to show me how since 1954 or every election, the majority of whites have voted for a Republican. So what does that tell you? It's not us. They keep saying it's us, that we're on the wrong side of America, but only one group is voting that way. Every other, I don't care how many more black people voted for Trump. I don't care how many more Latinos voted for Trump. I don't care how many more Asians voted for Trump. They still represent a significant minority of that group.
Right. Yeah.
You can ask brown people to keep saving you from your bad decisions and from your institutionalized racism. You keep wanting brown folks to save America, and we ain't got it. We don't have the numbers or the capacity to do it, because they're like, oh, Detroit, bail out Michigan. Oh, Pittsburgh, Philly, bail out Pennsylvania. Oh, black folk get tired. We're tired. We're tired of having to be the ones that got to save the republic and yet get no credit or no advantage to doing it. This is not Republican or Democrat for me, and I'm tired of having to have that discussion with people too, to think that either one of these parties has addressed our issues. Joe Biden didn't speak to us. He didn't speak to us. The Republicans didn't speak to us because they know they don't have to. Because it's not about us. It's about preserving the system. They know even if they don't care if they get 100% of our vote or 0%. Republicans ain't counting on us. They count on their people to show up. And we see on election day, every time, more conservatives do show up on election day. That's just been fact. We vote more by mail. We vote more early. Republicans go to the ballot on election day. So all those polls mean nothing, because ain't nobody going to say. How many times have you heard that conversation with white people say, I don't talk about my vote. I don't talk about my vote, because they're trying to hide it. It's because it's about, they're not proud of it, but they know what it means. And so for us, you ain't never have a question about it to a black person. Who you voting for? I'll gladly tell you. They'll gladly, we'll have that conversation.
But I am gonna say this though. I'm not gonna let these two groups get away. More black men and more Latino men voted for Donald Trump. I got what you're saying. They are definitely a very small microcosm in that, like you said, that big white female machine. But I'm just telling you now, I don't want to hear no more brother come up and tell me how woke he is and how, take me back to this and take me back to that. And if you really look at this and all that, dude couldn't handle math, but he tried to tell me everything about the electoral college and all that kind of stuff. I'm not doing it because for me, I'm amen with everything you said. And here we are. For me, every now and then, the enemy of my enemy has to become my friend. Every now and then I'll fight that fight by myself. But every now and then, the enemy of my enemy has to become my friend. And I needed that man out of office. And I know we would have lived through it. We will live through it if that's the way it comes out. We'll live through it. All this radical left, and they're going to take away our guns, and, You know, we're going to have rides in the suburbs and Antifa going to come and get everybody in their sleep. Okay. All right. The election is over. Can we stop with the foolishness? But at the end of the day, I don't want no platinum plan. I don't want no boom boom room plan. I don't want no champagne plan. And if we had had some sense, we would have shut that nonsense down as soon as they announced it. I don't want to be represented by Ice Cube. I don't want to be represented by 50 Cent. I don't want to be represented by Lil Wayne. I definitely don't want to be represented by Terry Crews. And oh yeah, by the way, how the heck did we get them when we used to have a Malcolm, we used to have a Martin, we used to have a Medgar, we used to have a John, we used to have some real leaders, but now we got rappers and entertainers?
Because that's the easy fruit to go after. It's easy to do that. No, I'm saying that's who they're easy with. Because it's about protect. You look for people who are protecting self-interest. So who's the easiest group to confirm? The people you're talking about: Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Shirley Chisholm. Any one of those people? Any of them have big fat bank accounts? Any of them have big fat bank accounts?
No.
People who do the right thing rarely die wealthy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So these folks are trying to preserve themselves, and they think that there's a dollar amount that will buy you in the club. And there is not. There is not a black person, no matter how much money they got. Look how quickly they kicked Colin Powell out the club. Yep. Look how quickly they kicked Michael Steele out the club. You know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as you speak, once you decide, and that's why Tim Scott is sitting there hanging on, because he don't want to get kicked out the club. Yep. That's why Candace Owens and all these folks want to run and jump in. They want to be accepted by people that do not want you in the club. America is like Augusta.
My first break. Let me get my first break. We'll come back. We're gonna spend some time on this. So, sports fans, hang on, and I will announce the winner of the weekly Pick'em Challenge. We'll do all that next, right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all new 92.3 FM.
Attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who've helped people diagnosed with cancer. Are you one of the millions who have taken Zantac or other generic versions of this popular drug to help treat stomach issues? Attention to this message. FDA said it detected
Namaste.
cancer-causing chemical known as
I got a friend who is a international yogi. I'll be in her session tomorrow morning.
Banned sales and even removed it from the market.
My peace of mind couldn't have taken 6 hours of election coverage. I said, I'm not doing it.
Until 2:30. I turned all the lights off after.
You could receive a free cash award and have your medical expenses.
9 o'clock. I said, I'm going to bed. I was like, no. I'm not watching a lick of it. It made me better. So this morning, that's why I wake up this morning. I'm like, all right, let's let some fire go.
16.
I'm just burned.
7816. That's 800-251-7816.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem
She's doing very well. She's doing very well. She's enjoying swim. She had a good Halloween.
And almost ruined
School is getting better.
I realized it didn't help to fix my problem.
She's doing well. Her anxiety is coming down.
If you've tried
working with her, so yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that she's happier. But today didn't make her happy. She wasn't happy today.
30-day program to replace
she was like, "What happened?" I said, "It's not over yet."
And
can he still win? I said, "Yeah."
Health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more.
I just see when it's going to court.
961-2730. 800-961-2730. That's 800-961-2730.
I'm going to tell you how you can get real health insurance for as little as $6 a day. Yes, now you can get affordable health insurance for you and your family immediately, starting at just $6 a day. And coverage is guaranteed regardless of your medical condition. That's right. For about $6 a day, you can have guaranteed health insurance. And there's dental, vision, and prescription coverage too. You owe it to yourself and your family to make this free call right now and learn more. There are no deductibles, no waiting period, no contracts, and coverage is guaranteed. Call National Health right now for your risk-free guaranteed health insurance quote starting at just $6 a day. Call now.
800-797-0921. 800-797-0921. 800-797-0921. That's 800-797-0921. Paid for by Go Health. I'm Ben Tankett, and you are listening to The Lunch Break.
Alrighty, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is a sports talk show called The Lunch Break, but y'all know me by now. Ain't nothing new. Y'all knew I was going to come in and deal with this election. I was up till 2:30, so I'm going to deal with it for at least 30 more minutes, so hang on. And I got David Grubb with me. And he didn't watch none of it, so I gotta fill him in. So there it is, y'all just hang on while we talk. Man, let me just say something, bro. I'm gonna let you finish. I ain't Kanye. I'm gonna let you finish. But when that grown man came up at 2:00 in the morning and got a hold to that microphone and said, "This is the latest press conference I've ever done," I knew we were in trouble. I knew he was getting ready to go left. He like one of them little bad kids, and you can see him when he get ready to pee on himself. I knew you just peed on yourself. Don't lie to me. And man, he just jumbled and danced. And finally he said, and I'm ahead by this many votes, and I'm ahead by that many votes, and I won this state, and I won that state. In fact, I'm the winner. and we're going to stop the counting. And literally tried to make it seem like, remember when LL Cool J rhymed the word girl and foil and I need love, where it just didn't work, but you know it's LL, so you kind of let him.
It works.
It works. I know that's your song. That's a lot of people's song. But girl and foil don't rhyme. That man literally tried to make voting.
Wait a minute. You from New Orleans? Hold on, I'm gonna say it. Everybody in New Orleans says furl, and they say Earl and furl. You know it, so don't act like it works. There you go.
Hold on.
Back to your serious point.
Hold on. Idris Thomas and Darrow wouldn't let me do it. She would not let me say, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? No, baby, I don't know what you mean. Tell me. And yeah, she wouldn't
Earl and hand me get some Earl at the.
This man tried to make voting and counting votes be the same thing. He tried to make it seem like the fact that they were still counting votes at 2:30 in the morning, like somebody was still in line casting a vote. And there are people that believe every single thing that comes out of his mouth. So now you got, people running around on social media and wherever they are talking about, they were voting, they were casting votes until early this morning, and that's a lie. And I'm sorry, people are allowed to have their votes counted as long as the state law allows it. And if he doesn't know that, then to me, he don't need to have the office. If you don't understand how it works.
No, he knows it.
I know.
This is the thing. This is the game.
I know.
This is the game that they play.
That's why I want my fist today. I know he knows.
What happens when you are in the midst of takeover, and that's what this is. This is a fight for takeover, and so you destabilize everything. So these people don't really believe that people are voting. That's not true. I don't think they really believe. What they believe in is the outcome, and this is by any means necessary for them. So it doesn't matter what argument there is to destabilize the vote. It doesn't matter what argument there is to invalidate the vote. They're riding with it because ultimately they want this to get to the Supreme Court. And if it gets to the Supreme Court, they're expecting that those people who Trump appointed, who owe him for their undeserved positions, will then rule in his favor and say that these ballots don't count. They already tried it in Texas, to throw out 100,000 ballots. They tried it already, so they will try it in other states and go to these courts and say these don't count and these don't count. And they use the U.S. Postal Service to make sure the stuff didn't get postmarked and all these things. And then you see the Postmaster General go up against a judge's order. This is all part of.
He wasn't going to show up. Let me ask you a question. Isn't it borderline ironic that the governor and the lieutenant governor of Michigan are now holding your boy hostage? They were so smiley today on their press conferences when they realized that their state had the deciding vote or could have the deciding vote in this election. I loved it. Life comes at you fast, and karma lives down the street. I'm just telling you, man.
See, I don't understand how. Like, I'm just not in that place. I'm not in that place at this stage. He's already won. He's already won because as history goes on, he will be redeemed. We've seen it. They redeemed Reagan. They redeemed Nixon. They redeemed Bush. It doesn't matter if all you got to do is hang on long enough, and they will fix it for you. That they will find a way to make him a good person, and that's what. So he's already won. He stacked the courts. He, from every level, every federal judgeship he could get through, he got through. He set precedent that if anybody really legitimately thinks that this man is going to jail,
no, I don't think he's going to jail.
Get that thought out your head. So he got money out of it. He got the power that goes with being the former president. He's going to be protected the rest of his life. He's not ever going to go to jail for these crimes. His children are not going to go to jail for these crimes. The man won. It doesn't matter. And what's going to happen, even if Joe Biden takes over in January, is you're going to see the same system operating that we saw before, because you don't have control of the Senate. That's not going to happen. And so you're going to get the same system that you had before, except it's going to have a smile on its face instead of a scowl. That's all. That's all. It's not. So I'm not like taking any glee in any of this.
But David, even after a bad loss, and I mean a bad loss, don't you still play the next game?
What's the game we're playing? If you're playing a game, if you go to the carnival and the game is set up so that you can your gun is never gonna hit that target, you can shoot all you want. You ain't never. And the milk bottles don't go down. We're playing a game that you can't win. The dice are loaded. The dice are loaded. So I'm playing against a hustler. America is a hustler. And I'm playing against Minnesota Pats, and you got me up there.
But David, I gotta believe that somewhere down the line,
what line?
Change.
400 years down the line, brother.
David, a change.
How long is the line? How long is the line?
David, somewhere down the line.
Where? Show if you can get where. Where? Because if I'm on the road, I know where my destination is.
It might not happen in our look. I don't want to.
Why I gotta keep doing that? Why I gotta keep doing that? Why is that okay? It's not my lifetime. It's not my sister's lifetime. It's not my daughter's lifetime. It's not my grandparents' lifetime.
Hold that thought. We're coming right back with David Girl right after this.
You're home. You're a diabetic. You need supplies, but you don't want to visit the pharmacy. What do? Call US Med for home delivery of your supplies. If you have diabetes and you're worried about going to a crowded pharmacy, pick up the phone in the safety and comfort of your home and let US Med deliver them to you with free shipping. And now if you test your blood sugar 4 more times a day and inject insulin 3 or more times a day, you may qualify to get a new continuous glucose monitor at little or no cost, which may eliminate the pain of pricking your fingers and helps you make smarter diabetes decisions. Plus, we'll send you a 90-day supply and bill your insurance company for you. Get some peace of mind. Call US Med today.
800-417-0851. 800-417-0851. That's 800-417-0851. Hi, I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
Hi, this is TJ from South Park.
Do it again.
I listen to the lunch break with AJ Jones on 1140 AM and 92.3 FM.
Yeah, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones, David Grubb, Winning Wednesday. Got to give somebody $50 today. Also, tell you about something that we're going to be giving away every Wednesday for the holiday. So y'all stay right there. We'll be telling you about all that. David Grubb and I are talking about the election, the state of the nation, and things like that. And, man, a lot of folks liked you calling America the real hustler. Yeah. El Michelle, America equals the real-time hustler. Terrell Rollins says she's going back to her people in Africa. Let me tell you something. I'm not going to Africa unless I want to. I'm not going anywhere unless I want to. I'm not letting nobody run me out of a country that ain't theirs. I'm not. Just not going to do it. That being said, David, I saw your post and you said, isn't it about time we realize that you said, I think America is not worth saving. And then I think on another post you said, this is who America is. Tell me about it.
Well, I said, maybe we need to say this isn't worth saving because I firmly believe you cannot fix something that is doing what it's supposed to do.
Okay.
How do you fix something that is that's not a fix. You can only break something that is working as intended.
Right. Yeah, the system is not broken. The system is doing what it's intended to do.
Yep, what it was designed to do from the start. Right. And so that was my first thought. And then my second was, it doesn't, we keep trying to, the whole thing is everybody wants to pin this on Trump. It's not Trump.
It isn't. You're right.
This is the reflection of your neighbors. This is the reflection of the people you work with every day, that you see in your life, that teach your children, that you run your cities. These are those same people, the ones who you thought were your friends, the ones that you think they are telling you what they really are about. And like I said, there is nothing in this country, not a political issue, not a financial issue, not a social issue, that beats out preserving white supremacy. Because if it did, you talk about, people keep bringing up that economic anxiety in all these poor states. The poorest states in the union are all run by Republicans.
Right.
All of them.
Right.
The poorest states,
Mississippi,
all of them. No matter where you are, the poorest states are run by Republicans.
Right.
Now, if that's the case, if Mississippi been bad since it became a state, if Mississippi's been that way under that same leadership, then you tell me that these people who keep telling you about economic opportunity, where has it been for you? Where is it getting to you? Because until somebody is willing to say there's no difference in America in being you than me, because I had a white guy yesterday talk about it's a privilege. I have a privilege, and I told him, I said, we do not get to look at voting the same. You get to look at voting as an exercise, an intellectual exercise of philosophy. It ain't that way for us, because what we are voting for more times than not is trying to stop things from happening to us. We don't get to vote on a lot of policy that helps. We are usually voting on policy to stop people from doing stuff. We are trying to be a barrier from things getting worse. And that is a completely different role. We don't get to go into it and say, well, I can vote for my friend, or I can vote for, no. Every vote that we take, we are going there with the weight. And that's not a weight that anybody else has to carry.
That's true. And if we even go further, a lot of times we're voting to make it hurt less. We're not gonna stop the pain.
That's what I'm saying. It's just to get in the way. You're just trying to get away in the way. You're putting up when they talk about murders and they look for defensive wounds. That's what we're doing. We're trying to put our hands in front of our face as the stabbing is coming towards us all the time. That's what we're doing, and that's what voting has been. So when we keep saying this thing about, well, you get out there and vote. My vote for president has never counted in my life. Your vote for president didn't count yesterday. It meant nothing. You could have not voted for president, and Texas is still going to be what Texas is going to be. Louisiana, 61% of the vote went for Trump. My presidential vote could have gone right in the trash. How is that equitable in a country where the biggest, the most important leader is settled by people appointed by the governor to be your electors? And in any other situation, it's one man, one vote. That is not an accident. It was done as it was intended. So why am I going to engage in something? Like, that's the ultimate question. Why am I engaging in something that
also
is
on that ballot are local elections?
I voted my local elections.
Okay, and
the president is still president, and my vote for president means nothing.
And that's why I want to be clear for the folks that are listening, to separate the difference. Yeah, the president is elected by the Electoral College, who are the appointees, the college electors, whatever you want to call them, are appointed by by the governors. All right, but there's other things on those ballots as well. Like, again, Houston did it again, where we had a blue wave, and we've got Democratic, we've got Black, we've got women, judges, and county commissioners, and all of that. And it was even bigger than the one we had in 2016 and 2018. And again, to your point, they tried to literally change the way judges are elected and wanted them appointed by the governor, as opposed to letting them be elected, because they were losing so bad. And don't think they're not going to try that again. My point in saying that is, I got to take care of what's down here and try to at least send it up there to, again, try to get my defensive wounds up there, some layers between me and the pain, until one day, every great machine, empire, municipality, or what have you, has fallen at some point. This one ain't no exception.
Yeah, but if Rome falls, if Babylon falls, if all those things happen, where are we left in that?
Well,
just because it falls, don't mean that that's the whole thing. Is I don't know what the eventual positive outcome is, and I can't visualize that. And that's the biggest thing, is none of us. You can't tell me you can visualize what that positive outcome would ultimately be. What would it be? Because we have no even concept of what it would be like to live as an equal in this country. We have no idea of that. I can't imagine it. I have no idea.
But David, whether we can imagine it or not, doesn't mean we don't try. It doesn't mean that we don't try. Because once we stop trying, then we absolutely have no hope. What
do we try for? That's the question ultimately, though, is what do we try for? Are we trying to make this work, or are we trying to do something else? And that's the question. And there are people smarter than me who need to help me understand the answer to that, because that's my area of expertise. But as an informed person, I think I could understand it if somebody won't break it down for me.
Fair enough.
I don't want to throw myself and say I got the solution, because I don't.
And I'm not going to sit here and tell you I got a solution either. But one thing I do know is I'm going to be the one that goes kicking and screaming. I'm going to be the one that's going to take a few with me when I go. I'm going to be the one, making as much noise as I can until I can, even if it doesn't do anything but irritate the heck out of the power that be. I'm going to hit Goliath in the head with a rock. Now, if he falls, he falls. If he doesn't, I'll grab another rock. That's all I got right now.
Yeah. It's try or die. You got to wake up in the morning and do the best you can. That's what we're all going to keep doing. But it's hard, man. It's hard. And we're not the only people who have it hard. I don't think people, but you have to, for some reason, you have to say that because people think, no, but it's just different.
But over here, we don't. We don't have to do it. I'm talking for Black people, man. Listen, when before I got on the bus to go to the Million Man March, I kissed both my boys and I said, I'm going. I don't know what I'm going to. I don't know if I'm coming back. But all I know is because of y'all, I gotta go. And I did. I got on that bus and went to DC, and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if they were going to shoot us when we got off the bus. I don't know if they were going to shoot us when we were on the way on the bus. I didn't know if we were not going to make it back off. I didn't know any of that. All I knew is I needed to get up and go try to do something. And that's all we can do every day. That's all we can do. I got to throw a rock every time I look at my child. I got to throw a rock every time I look at, people that look like me that can't throw rocks anymore. And I can't let a Donald Trump think that he's going to continue to make money the way he's making it in that office and do dog whistles and talk about the Boogaloo Boys and whatever the little drinking club is. I just can't do it. Will Joe Biden be any better? I don't know, but you know what? Next man up.
But
That's all we got right now.
But what happens after that? What happens after that? Because it's still, the Senate is still going to be run by Mitch McConnell.
True.
You saw them elect more of these crazy folks, like people with no experience, and very little intellect when it comes to policy. You saw a lot of them get elected.
Right.
You saw people who have open neo-Nazi affiliations get elected.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, that's the thing, is like the game. They'll always give you just enough. That's why they point out the people who succeed. That's why you bring up the 50 Cents and the Lil Waynes, because you can say, look, they made it. Look, they came from the bottom and they're rich now. Look at this. But that's the exception that proves the rule. That's the exception that proves. Yeah, we are, but that's not who it's supposed to fool. It's supposed to make those white folks feel better about doing those things because they're all co-signing black folks. Right. And that in no other way, in no other measure do we do that. Do you take, one person of that group says it's okay, only that comes to race. It's the same thing when we talk about the Washington football team. Oh, well, we know this Indian group that's cool with it. Well, the rest of them don't. They don't like it. But we got one. We have our friend. We have, like Trump said, there's my African American over there. You just need one or two who are willing to go on TV, and like, there's always room for the person who will talk bad about their own people. Yep. That person will always find a job.
But that's why we got to use these mics right. That's why we got to have conversations like this. That's why we got to at least stimulate. You and I might not be the ones to do it or figure it out, but something we say might stimulate somebody or activate somebody else or motivate somebody else to get with somebody else, to get with somebody else, till we get to the one that does something different and we have a change. We got to do it.
Yeah, but we got to be honest about these conversations too, because we got to stop saying that, America has never been so divided. We had a damn civil war in this country. Excuse my language.
Yeah, I was going to say,
when you talk about divided, it's just that, again, you don't get to do it. They don't want to do it in their houses anymore. Right. It's not a new fissure. These are not new fissures. Yeah. It's just that you had them covered up with tape. You hid them behind, like when an actress is pregnant on TV and they make them hide behind bags and luggage. That's what racism has been. It was still there. Right. It's just that it's, and so now when people talk about we're more divided, we're not more divided. We talk about Donald Trump fuels hate. Donald Trump, he can't do it without enablers. Right. He can't do it without a Congress that lets it fly. He can't do it without news networks that promote it. He can't do it without people in the media who write newspapers, people in state legislatures, governors, all these things emboldening those same policies on those levels. He's not that smart. He's a product of that system. So all it takes is somebody who's smarter than him to do more damage because they know the path. They figured out the path. And now that you've got the path, then you start making those things possible. You start making sure that you can't challenge gerrymandering. You start making, which they've already had rejected in North Carolina. They struck down their opposition to gerrymandering there. You're going to keep seeing those types of things. So there's no one, we need to be honest about what this country is. And I keep saying it and I'll keep saying it again. Donald Trump is just your mirror. That's all he is your mirror. When you look at Trump, you are looking at America. And if you think that that's not, then I'm sorry, you need to stop being so naive and you need to wake up.
Yeah, no, that's who we are. And I said that time and time again last night. I said, this has nothing to do with him. Whatever the number was, if it was 30 million, this is on those 30 million people that went out and punched that button by his name. That's who we are. That's who we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, let's not deny it. Let's not play this game that this is that he's something that you never expected. He's Reagan with less polish. You know what I'm saying? Like the same policies. It's Reagan with less polish. It's no different. It's Bush with less outward compassion. That compassionate conservative. It's just he doesn't give. Trump just has no care to try to hide it because it just makes him stronger, and that's what dictators do. And that's what he's trying to create, and that's what the Republican Party is essentially trying to create, a system where they never lose power, even if they're the minority.
Right. And what's crazy is that's why we got to pay attention to these local and state elections, because before Wisconsin flipped over to a Democratic governor, the outgoing governor passed a law that they could not overturn the laws that the previous Republican legislature had passed. How about that?
Yep. They worked to limit the overall power of the governor.
Right.
At that point, never had they done that before. So yeah, you see these states that are working to limit the governor's powers when they have Republican-controlled legislators.
Right. Yep. So I say again, look, I'm gonna read this because this is gonna motivate me. And like I said, if it motivates somebody else that can get something done, then do it. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. And I mean it. You know me, I'm a pastor and a man of faith, and I got a whole bunch of folks inboxing me like, well, we had to vote for the one who's pro-life. Listen, ain't nobody lined up. There's not a big old line around an abortion clinic where they just throwing babies in the fire. That's just not that. It is not that. So stop with trying to make excuses for voting for who you wanted to vote for. I don't want to hear about his character and how God can use him and God can use anybody. I don't want to hear any of that. You voted for who you wanted to vote for. And just live with that. Don't lie to me to make yourself feel better. You don't need my blessings. You voted for who you wanted to vote for. But just know, where I am, I'm praying, but I'm watching. And I know that my life begins to end the day I become silent about things that matter. And I'm not going to be silent about it. So let me take a break, and we'll be right back on the lunch break.
1140 AM and 92.3 FM, the legendary KYOK.
Yeah, you saw that guy, that I posted that thing that he cursed me out about my audience, saying I wasn't doing a good job building my audience because he didn't like what I was saying politically. It's like that's everybody, I'm not worried about that being in the public eye. It's just, it's so stupid. Like, you think you're going to come at me that way? Please, I'm not that dude.
You won't eat it, or you don't see the results you want. Just let us know, and we'll make it right. Totally risk-free.
I'm not a pope. You
What
don't
do you
have
have
to
to lose? You can't
Hey, I am not that dude. I'd rather repent than regret.
And if you call right now,
feel me?
Tupac said, I'd rather be feared than loved, because fear lasts longer.
Around and make him or her
I'd rather repent than regret. Like, if you gonna roll up on me, hey, if you want to be that guy, you can catch him. You can catch him. I got him for you. I'm ready to serve.
1459 800-296-1459.
On the south side of the Second Amendment.
1459. This is a Potter's Field.
You see it every time. Anytime black folks start exercising that Second Amendment right, then they all of a sudden find a restriction for it. Now it's time for some control on it.
I told all the brothers I knew, go out and get you an AR-15. Go out and get you an AR-15. Just go get you one.
$1 a day,
I know a guy that makes
ensure
it.
your family
He'll
will
make
have
you
the
one
money to
for
pay your
less than you
funeral
can buy it,
expenses.
from
We
a
offer burial
dealer.
insurance plans that pay up to $30,000.
If they don't want
Considering
to,
the average
put
funeral
some
costs more than
restrictions on them, go out and get as
$10,000.
many of them as
That's
you
peace of
can.
mind for your family. There are no medical exams.
And it's a shame that it comes to that.
And now he makes them that are their pistols, AR-15
Call
pistols.
now to get
So you
approved
carry
in
across state
minutes
lines.
and
So
ensure your
get
final
about
resting
12
place
of them.
is more than a
Mags.
pauper's grave in a potter's field. 800-308-6729. 800-308-6729. 800-308-6729. That's 800-308-6729. Paid for by Final Expense Direct.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or injured at work, you have rights. And you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer. And we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case. And they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-547-4170. 800-547-4170. 800-547-4170. That's 800-547-4170.
Now, back to the lunch break.
All right, y'all, we're back here on it. Lunch break, legendary KYOK, and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It is our winning Wednesday. Of course, we're talking about the election. Hold on, somebody's calling. You want to take the call, David?
Sure, why not?
All right, let's see what they talk about. Well, I don't know why do I do this? Why do I do this? Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
It's not as bad as you think. It's El Michelle.
Okay, El, I was worried. I thought it was gonna be one of them other dudes.
No. I called because I was agreeing with your comment about pro-life being one of the main reasons people used as their voting reason. Because here's the thing: you're pro-life until the babies get here. When the babies get here, then you say the unwed mothers or the rape victims are the problems, and we don't want to take care of those welfare people. So it's really, and I hate to say it this way, this is a people term. This isn't a godly term. The evangelicals will say these things, and then when the babies get here, then they're a problem.
Yeah, and they don't wait long to make them a problem too. Just see the south border where they got folks in cages. I've termed it, you're not pro-life, you're pro-embryo. You're pro-fetus.
That's all yours, pro-birth.
That's it.
Birth, but you don't want to educate them. You don't want to feed them. You don't want to give them equal opportunity at the start. And see, that's the thing too, is when you talk to people all the time and they use this economic anxiety thing, or they talk about redistribution, blah, 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 blah. All we've ever asked for is an equitable opportunity, not equal outcomes. If you give people equitable opportunity, that your zip code, that your race, that your gender does not have an undue influence on the outcome of your life, then the rest is truly. Then you can start really talking that stuff about what you make out of your life is your own. Because then you're giving people a real start. But when you do this nonsense and people talk about, well, your life is exactly what you make it, again, they point into the exceptional and making them the rule. Because the average person who goes to a bad school is going to come out with a bad education. If you got a bad hospital, you're going to come out unhealthy. If you got no access to jobs, you're going to be unemployed. So, I mean, it's like these are all arguments that they make in order to what? Alleviate guilt.
Right. Gentrification, redlining, all of those things all come into play with all of that. Now, as far as the comment about him being in office and him saying, he's appointed by God and he's supposed to be there. You know what? Guess who else was in position when they were supposed to be? So I'm going Bible this time.
Okay, go ahead.
Pharaoh.
Mm-hmm.
Pharaoh was where he was supposed to be, ruling like he was.
Yep.
At the time he was, during that reign.
Yep.
So what happened?
Yep.
History does indeed repeat itself.
Yep.
Prophecy does come to pass.
Yep.
And so just like everybody's like, oh, he's supposed to be there. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, he is. He was.
Yep. Well, and that's what I said to somebody last night who I guess needed, to confess to me. If you believe that God allowed Donald Trump to be in there, then you'll believe that God allowed Joe Biden to be in there. You'll be fine.
Exactly.
You'll be fine. Remember, God will work it out. Lord ain't gonna look. I like to do drive-by scripture quotes, David. I like out a drive-by scripture quote, Uzi, he'll never put more on you than you can bear. This too shall pass. The Lord will make a way somehow. God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. I quote him with him, but they want
mysterious ways.
Yeah, you know what? He works in mysterious ways. God qualifies the unqualified. I mean, all of that. That's what y'all want me to hear and amen with you about him. How come he can't do it for somebody else? Why do I have to hear about everybody else's sins and transgressions? But I can't say nothing about his because, God cleaned him up and he redeemed him and he restored him. So, here's the thing. Sometimes people don't come to you to tell you that stuff for you. Sometimes that's for them.
Mm-hmm.
And
you know what?
I'm like this, make an appointment, and my office hours are.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Yeah.
It's cognitive dissonance by choice. It's the only way. And America is that fragile. What I remember, I had that thing, and some folks laughed at it. Remember, I said America is the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
I said the Dallas Cowboys really are America's team, and I said that because their team and I know Cowboy fans get all over this, but listen to what I'm saying. A team that has not been relevant it's successful in a long time, but goes on past glory, lives on that past glory.
Right.
It's led by ego and driven by profit rather than it's driven by building something. And truly building something. You want immediate satisfaction, you want money, you want the power that comes along with success, but are not doing the things that it takes to get that success.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you are imperialistic in the sense that you want your brand everywhere, and yet you do nothing to cultivate it by creating that, all those other things. It's a facade, and that's what people can't have, that facade broken. They can't have the mythology of America broken. They can't have this thought that it's not the best country, because otherwise, where other place do you see in the world where people have to always be wrapping themselves in a flag, always be wrapping themselves in anthems and military and all these things? That only happens in either dictatorships or around people who are insecure. Because if I have to tell you how great I am constantly, I'm really not that great. I'm not that confident.
Yeah.
L? It's a psychology thing. It's a mind thing. It's a mental conditioning thing. Now, here's the last thing, and I'm going to go.
All right.
Evangelical. That category is man-made. I'm not talking about.
My bad. That was me. Sorry about that. Say it again, L.
Okay, evangelical is a man-made category, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about Christianity and we loving God and whatever. Let's see how many evangelicals gather around the president if it's not their current president.
Right. Absolutely.
Evangelical is now equivalent to a white supremacist.
Absolutely. Yeah. And hold on. I want to see all the black pastors run down there, and the ones that's been there. I want to see Martin Luther King's niece. I need to see her run down there. Paula White, she got to go down there. Vicky Yohe, she got to go down there. All of the same ones that was in there shucking and jiving and telling him he was the best president we ever had, and he done more for black people since Jesus and all of that. I need them all down there wrapping their hands around whoever is the president, or go and have several seats and don't get up until we call you.
That's it. All right, guys. Keep it up.
All right. Thank you, El Michelle. Always good to hear. She's done a bunch of drops for me, and I got to get them on something that I can play, because she's good, bro. You need voiceovers? That's the one. Cool. That's the one. David?
Yes, sir.
We got to do some sports.
Okay.
You want to have closing remarks? Tell me about your shirt.
Yeah, so I got this shirt about 2 years ago. And it was like the painting is what struck me. There's a painting of this shirt, and if you look at it, it's the American flag, but you see the red stripes are made out of blood and hanging African Americans, and in the blue field there are a lot of people getting shot and things like that. It's about the violence of this country and our history. And this is, today this is just how I felt. I mean, like I looked in my closet, I had a number of them that I could have pulled out. But today, this is just, again, this America shows itself. And when it does, I don't mind walking the streets and reminding people and making them uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah, I got you. That's why I wore this one. I told my congregation in my church, the question was, who's on your go team? It's go time. Who's on your go team? And then who's in your inner circle? Because that inner circle is that small group of confidants that if don't nobody else go, that group is going to go. And I told my inner circle so small, it's nothing but a fist. And on the outside of my fist are these people right here who their thoughts, their words, their creations, those things were intended for me. Mm-hmm. Those things had me in mind. Land of the free, home of the brave didn't have me in mind. Mm-mm. All men are created equal, it didn't have me in mind. So these right here have me in mind. So yeah, I'm sorry. I know I should have been careful today. I know I should have been more cautious today, but not today. Not today. Because we don't hide, we don't run.
Mm-mm. I'm not a different person on any given day, and there may be times when I know you lose followers or you lose people to say I don't want to listen to you anymore, or I don't want to. Okay, but I got to live with me.
Right.
I got to live with me, and like you said, I got to look at my daughter, I got to look at my wife, and I got to think about the people who got me to this point, and they didn't get me to this point so I would be quiet.
Right.
They never told me in my life that to be quiet in the face of wrong. They never told me to be quiet in the face of injustice. So if that's what I learned from my family and from my mentors, I owe them that.
Right.
I owe them that. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees.
Yeah, amen. Listen, I got to play Sybil Wilkes. When we come back, we'll announce the winner of the Lunch Break Weekly Pickup Challenge. I told everybody you got the house. Well, no, I told everybody my niece got her house.
Yes, she did.
I told them my niece got her house. So congratulations on that. Here's Sybil Wilkes. We'll be right back right after this.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Wednesday, November 4th, 2020. Number one, in his late night speech to supporters, Vice President Joe Biden told the crowd to keep the faith. The numbers aren't all in yet, and we still have faith, Mr. Biden, but faith without actions is dead. We're certainly not dead, but we've got work to do. We deserve better, but we've got to earn it, and the work begins today. Number two, 2020 has been a trying time for Americans, especially Black and brown communities, who have battled to end racial injustice and systemic racism and suffered disproportionately from a deadly pandemic. Despite these enormous challenges, Americans of color were determined to make their voices heard at the polls. This year's record voter turnout of the Black and brown community shows they have had enough and are ready for change. Hopefully we won't have to endure another year like 2020 to bring about change. Number three, a recent study by researchers at the University of Washington found that only about half of U.S. citizens wear a mask in public. According to Dr. Francis Collins, director of the National Institutes of Health, if behaviors continue as they are, coronavirus-related deaths could exceed 1 million by the end of February. Number four, in a break from the tension of the presidential election, here's some Black girl magic to celebrate. Manassas, Virginia has elected its first Black Democratic female mayor, Michelle Davis Younger. The Manassas mayoral contest was the most competitive local race of 2020. Davis Younger, a Democrat, beat her Republican competitor, Councilwoman Teresa Coates Ellis, by less than 400 votes. Congratulations on your victory, Madam Mayor Davis Younger. Number five, as Pinterest faces a lawsuit alleging bias in hiring, promotion, and compensation, the tech company named Ty McRae as the new global head of inclusion and diversity. According to the company, McRae will lead Pinterest strategy and programming to create an inclusive and diverse culture. In June, the company committed to a deeper focus on increasing diversity at senior levels. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with Myra J. and Stephen Hill as we discuss today's headlines and more. That's what you need to know. For more information, please go to SybilWilkes.com and sign up for my free newsletter. Be informed, be empowered.
Beautiful people, this is Major. This is why I love you on the lunch break.
All right, quick sports update. NFL trade deadline came and went without a move by the Houston Texans or the Dallas Cowboys. Texans will visit Jacksonville Sunday at noon. They should be all right. Jacksonville going to start a rookie quarterback. Gardner Minshew is a little banged up. They're going to hold him out. Cowboys going to host the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers Sunday, 3:25 Central on CBS. Cowboys going to have to do that. What Ben DiNucci, boy, never played quarterback. Unfortunately,
throwing like Kent Colvey. That's a name, but he was throwing like Kent Colvey out there.
Andy Dalton is on the COVID-19 list. New Orleans
good for the Cowboys.
Brady and the Buccaneers Sunday night at 7:20 live on NBC. A battle for first place in the NFC South. Who dat? All right, that's all I got for right now. Let me hit this top of the hour, and then me and David Grubb will be back second hour right after this on the lunch break.
The legendary 1140 AM KYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM K222CX Houston.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the host, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones, David Grubb, and somewhere right now, Ben DiNucci is running the quarterback spot for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I've seen some quarterbacks, and that boy ain't no quarterback. Where he learned how to play quarterback. Where'd they get a Ben DiNucci from?
That shows you how bad it is out there.
Right.
Remember we talked about how, if Colin Kaepernick is still sitting at home, it just makes no sense. Whether you think people keep talking the headache. Man.
You don't think Jerry Jones' head is hurting with Ben DiNucci? What's his real name? I done got the boy name so wrong.
This Benucci, yeah. It's like DiNucci. It's Ben DiNucci, yeah.
DiNucci.
But he's in there throwing sidearm and slinging it. And it's just, come on. This is NFL quarterback. And then you see it again with the Nathan Petermans or with the Daniel Joneses of the world. These guys are not quarterbacks. They're not NFL quarterbacks. And yet, EJ Manuel can't find no job.
Come on, man.
What's your boy who used to was the quarterback for the Jets from out of West Virginia? What's his name? Yeah, so he ain't getting no jobs. You ain't getting no jobs for Cap. None of those guys get jobs, but you bringing people off the street and giving them quarterback positions for the Dallas Cowboys. It's Starbuck, Romo, Danny White, DiNucci.
Yeah, right. What's a Benucci?
Clint Longley. They let you longing for the days of Clint Longley. It's bad. This is a team with all the resources in the world and decided to go with Andy Dalton, who was washed up in Cincinnati.
Hold on, that's Todd's guy. Hold on. That's Todd's dude. That is Todd's dude. Todd thought that Andy Dalton was going to play so well that Jerry was going to give Andy Dalton like $20 million a year and get rid of Dak. Dak got like one leg, and Jerry is over there holding, rubbing the leg like, man, when you come back, everything going to be all right.
Miyagi on it.
when you come on everything I love, when you come
they wrapping banana leaves around that leg. They doing everything. They putting the chicken's foot in anything they can find to try to get that man. It's bad out there for quarterbacks, man.
I'm just telling you, man.
It's bad. Warren Moon might as well try to come back and try to get some throws in because the arm is still good. I bet you Warren is still chucking, 25, 30 yards regularly on it with accuracy.
Better than Ben DiNucci.
Man.
That's just ridiculous, man. That's an embarrassment before the father. And I don't care whose father it is. That is an embarrassment. And
his family is shocked that he's in the NFL.
Bruh.
I bet you they're like, really? You made it? You made it.
I'm telling you, if I was his agent, I would like, yo, Ben, now that they've seen you with your helmet off, guess what? We got all kinds of acting and modeling gigs lined up for you, bro. I'm telling you, we got some acting and modeling gigs lined up for you, and you don't have to get CTE to get it.
But all he has to do is win one game. If he beats one team, then it becomes, man, this guy can make it. He can make it. I don't know who they're going to beat, but I'm just saying, you know how it goes. You just got to win one game. That's what got Jimmy Garoppolo his money, right? Jimmy Garoppolo was nobody, nothing. He played one game for Tom Brady, looked kind of good, and now he's making $25 million a year over in San Francisco, and he ain't that good. So you just got to win one game and look good. That's all he's got to do.
That's crazy to me. I don't want to hear no more about Colin Kaepernick. Anybody talk bad about Kaepernick between now and time I get home, it's on.
Eli Manning was out there throwing 25 picks a season. And you talking about Colin Kaepernick can't play in this league. Come on, man. Daniel Jones is turning the ball over at a record pace in his career.
Just give it to people. Here, take it. I don't even want it.
And they still almost beat the dang Buccaneers.
But hold on, though. Hold on. We dancing around it, but let's get to it. Carson Wentz, sorry. Excuse me. Let me say it right. Trash.
And they still trying to hold on. He had one decent season. One. And twice he got benched or replaced by Nick Foles. Come on, man. Come on. You still riding this.
I'm calling names today, and Dr. Aki Davis and all the Dak Prescott haters thought that man was wrong for trying to hold out for more money than Carson Wentz. I couldn't sleep at night knowing I accepted less money to play better than Carson Wentz. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it.
No. I mean, if you're Dak and you look around the league and you say, well, even if you look up the road and you say the Texans just gave Deshaun $40 million a year, he ain't done what I done. I'm not talking about statistically, but I'm saying winning wise. If you're Dak and you say, well, he's no better than me, so at the very least you should be. That's the neighborhood I need to be knocking on. So why would you take less than any of these other people? Because statistically speaking, he's in that group of the top 5-6 quarterbacks in this league. So he should be paid as such. I wouldn't be asking for less because it's a quarterback-driven league. You keep telling me it's a quarterback-driven league. The NFL has said it. So pay that man like a frontline quarterback.
All I know is as soon as this season is over and the NFL fiscal year is over, we need to be signing paper.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense that Kirk Cousins, that the Redskins understood that Kirk Cousins wasn't worth it and let him ride. He wasn't no Dak Prescott. And even Kirk Cousins is still making more money than Dak right now. So come on. And he's about to ride bench. So it makes absolutely no sense. And I think Jerry Jones, ultimately, these are the things that tear your team apart too. And that's why you don't see cohesion. And that's why you don't see that this buy-in. You got a weak head coach in Mike McCarthy who has his team underprepared. You have no aggression coming from the Cowboys on either side of the ball. Who knows what's happened to Zeke Elliott in his relation to COVID? It's easy to throw him under the bus, but look, he has not looked the same since COVID.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. We got David Grubb, host of Hard in the Paint, writer for CrescentCitySports.com, joining us on Winning Wednesday. Ezekiel Elliott and Cam Newton, they're not the same players after COVID. They're not. And I know neither one of them will use it as an excuse, especially Cam. Cam is like, if I got one leg, I got to drag it out here. But neither one of them look the same post-COVID.
None. And we don't see it out of a lot of players. We just see all the time. Like, they come back, and where's the energy? Where's the burst? Where's that? Even mentally, they're not there's something that even they will say, I just don't feel myself. Emmanuel Sanders, when he went down for the Saints, he said, I didn't feel like myself. Everything, he said, I tried to run, and I wasn't running. Yeah. Like, you were putting everything you have to go slow. And so to me, but all of this will get used against these guys in negotiation and evaluation, and they're going to get punished for something that they didn't ask for. The league didn't do enough to protect them from. And so you do this, and now these guys are going to pay the price long term. Not the owners, because the owners are going to do whatever they have to do to get their money back. But the players are going to take the penalty on this and have to suffer the long-term causes or even the short-term causes financially. So, like, that's a terrible thing. And then on top of that, you add the fact that in team sports you have all these individual incentives and that people are not going to make for these various reasons.
Yeah.
And you're going to cost them money on that in a sport that where you're saying we need everybody to rally for the team and all this, but you're taking my money away because I can't get touches because I got sick.
Right.
Doing my job, I got sick.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, but it ain't right.
Of course, it makes sense. Again, it's working the way it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
It's not broken.
You remember 8 Men Out?
Yeah.
And remember Charlie Comiskey talking to Eddie Seacott, and Eddie Seacott won 29 games, and he said, you didn't start me for 5 straight games because they said, well, we were trying to get you ready for the playoffs. He said, but I was going to win one of them 5 starts. So we don't know that. 29 ain't 30, Eddie. I'll never forget that line. 29 is not 30, and that's what owners will do.
Yep. David Grubb going hot fire. All right, listen, before this break, let me go ahead and announce the winner of the Lunch Break Weekly Pick'em Challenge. It was a tough week for everybody. Several people were under 500. I'm not even going to mention those. 7-7. Merrick, Mad Dog, Alexis was 7-7. I was 7-7. Let's see, Boston was 7-7. Keith Hennick 7-7. Then we had a ton of 8-6. Floyd, big time Floyd. Milo, Big Mike, George Griffin. Erica was 8-6. Amber was 8-6. Philip was 8-6. And Jessica and Mark was 8-6. And then we had a few 9-5s. Danny Wilson was 9-5. Ferdinand was 9-5. And let's see what it came down to the tiebreaker. No, it didn't come down to the tiebreaker. Keisha Kelly from Black College Experience was 10-4, and she won all by herself. No tiebreaker. Didn't have to go to the Monday night game. She was 10-4, and how she did that on this week when it was nothing but upsets blows my mind. So Keisha Kelly, go send me your Cash App, girl, and let me drop that 50 on you. My Jewels, owned by Terrell Rollins, is this week's sponsor of the $50. So $50 courtesy of My Jewels. If you like these bracelets that I wear, if you like all that, y'all just hit Terrell Rollins up, and she can take care of you. All right, let me take a quick break. I'll be right back. Right after this, again, congratulations, Keisha Kelly, and thank you, My Jewels, for sponsoring the $50 this week for the Lunch Break Weekly Pick'em Challenge that we do every week right here on my show. That's the new name of it. All right, we'll be right back.
An attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who've helped people that have been injured or wronged. Have you been diagnosed with cancer? Are you one of the millions who have taken Zantac or other generic versions of this popular drug to help treat stomach issues? Then pay close attention to this message. The FDA said it detected low levels of a probable cancer-causing chemical known as NDMA in Zantac and other generic forms of this popular drug. They've banned sales and even removed it from the market. If you've been diagnosed with cancer and you've taken Zantac or a generic equivalent, call the legal helpline now. You could receive a free cash award and have your medical expenses covered. And there's no upfront cost to you. They only get paid if you win. So please call now. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. That's 800-251-7816.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits.
Man, I love that.
Change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-961-2730. 800-961-2730. That's 800-961-2730.
I'm going to tell you how you can get real health insurance for as little as $6 a day. Yes, now you can get affordable health insurance for you and your family immediately, starting at just $6 a day. And coverage is guaranteed regardless of your medical condition. That's right, for about $6 a day, you can have guaranteed health insurance. And there's dental, vision, and prescription coverage too. You owe it to yourself and your family to make this free call right now and learn more. There are no deductibles, no waiting period, no contracts, and coverage is guaranteed. Call National Health right now for your risk-free, guaranteed health insurance quote, starting at just $6 a day. Call now.
800-797-0921. 800-797-0921. 800-797-0921. That's 800-797-0921.
My name is Devon McDonald from Jamaica. Play with Indianapolis Colts. And listen, you listen to the lunch break.
All right, y'all, we back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Former Texans defensive back Jonathan Joseph was released. So, the Texans can get him back now. And, they need help in the secondary. So, what do you say? Do we bring J. Joe back? Why do announcers give everybody with the last name Joseph or Johnson Joe? Why does that have to be that?
We're lazy.
Rodriguez got to be Rod.
We're lazy. We stopped doing nicknames. Nicknames used to be cool. Now all nicknames now are just abbreviations of your name. So, the coolest nicknames, who do we have left? Who's got a cool nickname out there? In football, who's got a cool one? Anybody? There's no prime times. There's no white shoes. There's no, the animal. There's no, the mad stork. There's none of that. All those are gone.
Yeah.
All gone. So Aaron Rodriguez, Aaron Rodgers, A-Rod. That's all they call him. So it's like, what do we? Russell Wilson is what? Rusticulous, but that's not really a nickname.
Yeah, that's no nickname.
It's a play off your regular name. So those don't count. Nobody has one.
Boogie Cousins.
Yeah, but that wasn't given to him as part of sports. That was given to him by his parents. Remember, so when he was a little kid, that don't count either.
Yeah.
That don't count. There's no good nicknames out there.
There are no good nicknames out there. We had Boobie Clark in Cincinnati.
See, Kevin Durant, if he had just went with it, he could have had the greatest one ever, the Slim Reaper. But he didn't want it. He rejected it.
He rejected it. William the Refrigerator Perry.
That's long. You're talking a long time ago. Walter Payton was sweetness. Remember, you had the nicknames were on the posters. Remember, so you had the nickname every time you got a poster. That's their name was Sean Kemp, the Rain Man. You know what I'm saying? You had everybody. They had names. Nobody's got names. Penny Hardaway. They ain't no names. The Answer. Where are the names?
Come on, man. Now you got me thinking, and I'm a little depressed. We ain't got no nicknames.
Kobe must have killed him with the Mamba. That was it. The Mamba was the last one. So where's
himself that name?
Yeah, he gave himself that one, and Shaq gave himself all of his. So
you can't give yourself a nickname.
And even Paul Pierce being nicknamed the Truth didn't stick. It wasn't like people were walking around calling Paul Pierce the Truth. Called him Paul Pierce. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever called hey, the Truth is playing tonight. No, I don't know. The only Truth that I remember, if you ask me who the Truth was, I'm gonna tell you Carl Williams, boxer. You asked me who the Truth was, Carl the Truth Williams.
Boxers have good names, good nicknames.
Donovan Razor Ruddock.
Yeah. Yeah, Iron Mike.
Jan the Beast Mugabe.
Yeah.
Some good names.
That was some
Hands
good
Stone.
Yeah.
There's some good names out there.
Why? How come we don't have nicknames?
Because we're lazy. We're lazy. It takes time. It takes personality. That's what you're looking for is the personality. You know what I mean? That's what
everybody a nickname.
Everybody's manufactured it so much they scrape their personalities to be so clean that it's just what do you want to be? We try to play around with Zion sometimes. Somebody called him. What was this? There was a one that I kind of liked that I'm trying to remember what it was. Something I can't remember what it was, but I started calling him Braun Kemp, and we try little things, but none of them stick. But Zion is a really distinctive name anyway. But there's no human highlight films out there. There's no, there's no Fly Williams. There's none of those
Superman. You got Superman.
Anybody call him Dwight Howard Superman?
How you don't want to talk about Shaq?
Nobody called Shaq Superman. Just because he did? Who's out there calling Shaq Superbad?
What about the big fundamental?
Nobody called Timmy that either. Timmy would never use that. You think if you gonna walk up on Tim Duncan and be like, "Hey, fundamental," he's gonna be like, "What's up?" That ain't Tim. Tim don't need no nickname.
Timmy.
If anything, if people who know Tim, he called himself Merlin. That was his thing. Because on his shoulder, the tattoo that he has is of Merlin. And when we used to play video games, we were in college, he always had his name was Merlin on there. So that was the inside thing. People called Tim Merlin, but you never go by no big fundamental. You ain't gonna walk.
I got one for you, and only people that know him know this. Adrian Peterson. What's
all day?
There you go.
All day.
There you go. Yeah, the people. Oh, AP. Now they call him AD, bro.
AD all day.
Well,
All day long.
no, you don't know him. It's AD.
I mean, like look at the great ones. Look at the great. It'll be Earl Campbell, the Tyler Rose. I mean, that's a beautiful nickname for a brutal runner.
Right.
It was like there's nothing finesse about Earl Campbell's style,
right.
And yet he was the Tyler Rose. That's just beautiful.
All right, quick break. We'll come back and then we'll go through some of these games. Can we do that?
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back right after this on the lunch break.
You're home. You're a diabetic. You need supplies, but you don't want to visit the pharmacy. What do you do?
It's just sad looking at Earl, man. Them hands. Oh my gosh.
If you have diabetes and you're worried about going
sausages, the sausage is the bomb.
the phone in the safety and comfort of your home, and let US Med deliver them to you.
It's hard for me to believe that Earl Campbell is younger than Tony Dorsett when you see him.
Times a day,
No way.
and inject insulin 3 or more times a day, you may qualify to get a new continuous glucose monitor.
Football did a number on Earl's body, man.
You may eliminate the pain of pricking your
He gave
fingers.
everything he had
Make
for people
smarter
who
diet
didn't, like,
Plus, we'll
again,
send you
we didn't do it for Earl.
your insurance company for
Remember they told him the ball ain't heavy. Remember that's what Bum Phillips said. The ball ain't heavy. He can carry it. All right, that's why you only got 8 years of his career.
0851.
You can't keep giving a man 300 something carries every year.
Aaron Foster told Alfred Blue, don't
Let's
ever carry
be
the ball
honest,
35 times a
wheelchairs
day.
are heavy,
Said
bulky, and ugly.
don't
If
ever
you
carry the
carry
ball
a
35
wheelchair in
times
your
a day.
car to take care of a loved
Said
one,
if you
you
gotta
know
come
how
out,
hard
don't
it
carry
is
the ball
getting that
35 times a day.
clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out
Do
of
it. You can't do that all the time.
feather
Look at the
chair.
guys who all hold the single season attempts record. Remember Larry Johnson? What happened to his career the year after he did that? Jamal Anderson had it. What happened to him the year after he did? He blew out his knee. It's like if you get them that all-time rushing attempt record, your career is over. You don't ever want that number next to your name.
Value, yours
Sean
free.
Alexander.
The feather chair. The
Yep.
world's lightest wheelchair is just
It ends so
$4.99.
quick when you get all them rushing attempts.
So it's $16 a month. Sorry,
That's why you wasn't gonna hit Barry, boy. Barry was like, I ain't doing all that.
Right now to order yours.
I don't think I ever saw Barry Sanders take a square shot. Did you ever see a tape of Barry Sanders getting his bell rung?
624690.
Like, you know, remember his daddy didn't let him play tackle football till he was a sophomore in high school. Made him play flag.
Scott, host of the
Don't take them
Not
hits.
So Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news
All right, last
surrounding our
one.
world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian to Me show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 a.m. and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
See, it already says Houston Texans on it. We should just get him back. Just get him back. Just get him back, and I won't have to change the drop. Jonathan Joseph with the Houston Texans. I mean, he named 2 other defensive backs on the team that are better than him. Name. I'm listening. Waiting. I'm waiting. You know, the secondary for the Texans is so bad, they're really starting to look at Justin Reed differently. Like, you know, he was supposed to be a candidate for Rookie of the Year when he came out. And now he's toast.
Well, hasn't that been the story of the Texans over the last few years? The terrible drafts.
Yep. This is all Bill O'Brien here, buddy. It's all Billy O.
And as I say this, they are playing with more fire. You can clearly see that they were glad to have that weight lifted, but they don't have enough talent.
Right.
And that's on Bill O'Brien. He did not put those players in position that group. It doesn't matter who their coach is. You could bring Vince Lombardi back, and they just can't do it. You don't have enough on a week out basis other than to beat other teams that are as bad as you.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. All right, let's look at these games. Thursday night, Green Bay and San Francisco. On paper, I thought that was going to be a good one. No Jimmy Garoppolo. Nick Mullins. I think
Nick Mullins ain't that much of a fall off, if any, from Garoppolo. He's played some really good games when Garoppolo's been gone. I mean, it's like, but that's not the thing. The bigger loss is George Kittle.
Yeah.
If you ain't got George Kittle, that changes everything. But they can still run, and Brandon Ayuk has been making big plays week in and week out. So I don't count San Francisco out with that defense that they have. It's just, where do you get some extra production? I think they're going to really rely on that running game because they got great backs who split that very well, who do something different. You have speed, you have guys who can catch, you have guys who are battering rams. So I think that, they're going to slow that game down. I don't count San Francisco out. And right now in the NFL, especially if you're talking about NFC teams, it's all about a big bunch at that group anyway.
Yeah. So who you got?
I give San Francisco the benefit of the doubt this week. I will.
Yeah, San Francisco's at home. I'm going with Green Bay just because Green Bay lost last week.
It's just with Green Bay, I don't know from week to week.
Yeah,
like none of these teams. Excuse me. There's nobody in the NFC that I could predict from week to week. Did you expect Tampa to get by the Giants by 1 point?
No,
did you expect the Saints to struggle the way they did against the Bears? Right. Just like every week you're sitting there looking at teams and you're just like, they're playing against teams they should beat and struggling.
Right. Yeah.
So, I'll give San Francisco just for being at home and the fact that I think that their defense can put a hurting on people. And then you add to the fact that I just think that they're going to try to punish a very light Green Bay defensive line.
Okay. All right. So you got San Francisco. I got Green Bay. We'll see how that comes out. All right. I guess it's going to be a good game. Baltimore and Indy. At Indy.
Baltimore. Gosh.
I know.
What? I thought they were going to play much better against Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And they showed, and I don't have a ton. I'm not like sold on Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh was squeaking by everybody, and then they come out and handle Baltimore the way they did. I don't know how much faith I can put in Baltimore. That's just, Where's this game again?
In Indy. Lucas Oil Field.
You have to still give it the advantage to Baltimore. I can't bet on Phillip Rivers. I just can't do that. I can't do it.
Yeah. Yep. I'm going there. Houston at Jacksonville.
Houston. I'll give them that.
Chicago at Tennessee. Tennessee ugly loss to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Chicago is 16th against the run in the NFL.
Yep.
So maybe Derrick Henry gets back on track against Chicago. You saw that Bears offense is still not really creative.
Mm-hmm.
But they did make some big plays against the Saints. They were able to get it to Darnell Mooney, who, if you have not watched that young man, he can fly out of Tulane.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy. And he can fly. So I like him, but I think I have to give it to Tennessee because the Bears, the last 3 or 4 weeks, have not looked great.
Yeah. I think Vrabel's going to bounce back and have them ready to go. In fact, I see Tennessee scoring about mid-20s in this one. I don't know if the Bears can go with them.
No, it took the Bears for the Saints basically to give them those huge plays for them to get 23.
Right. To
get 23 at home.
Right.
So, going up against a better defense in Tennessee than what they faced against the Saints and going up against the running game that I think they're going to really try to throw Derrick Henry down their throats. And at the very least, if Tannehill doesn't turn it over, I don't see the Bears marching 70-plus yards multiple times and score touchdowns. Because, Rabel's going to play the position game if he's not getting great production out of that offense and let it rest on that D. I'd be more confident with Tennessee's defense going up against the Bears' offense than vice versa.
Correct. Right there with you. All right. Dallas hosting Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Dallas is at home.
I don't care.
They got Ben Benucci.
This is going to be bad. This one's going to be bad. That team's quitting. They're already thinking about the offseason. If the fact that they could possibly win that division with like 7 wins, you could literally, I mean, that's the only reason they have to be playing games is that nobody else in that division is worth paying attention to. And it's going to be whoever wins, it'll win by default. So, yeah, that's the only reason Dallas playing. But Pittsburgh's coming in. They got an agenda. Pittsburgh has an agenda.
Yep. I really do think that Pittsburgh will score 30+, and they will only give up single digits to the Cowboys. I really do.
How the Cowboys going to score if you can't throw, you can't run?
Right. Atlanta hosting Denver.
Denver. Because it's Atlanta. Atlanta find a way to lose. If you play and if Atlanta I'm not betting on Atlanta ever.
We're at the halfway point. This is Atlanta's time of the year. We're at the halfway point. This is Atlanta's time of the year.
I don't care. Oh, quick Atlanta thing. I got an argument with somebody on Twitter who tried to tell me that Julio Jones is as good as Jerry Rice.
Why did they do that?
Said, well, Jerry's got the stats, but he's not better than Julio.
Okay. All right.
Jerry Rice has legit claim as being the best football player of all time.
Yeah.
Remember, he was named by NFL Network the greatest football player of all time.
Yeah.
And you gonna talk about Julio?
Yeah. Nice conversation though. Seattle at Buffalo.
Ooh, Buffalo looked much better last week, but I still like Seattle. I don't think anybody has anything for Russell Wilson. You don't have nothing for that man.
Yep.
That dude having he's the only person in America who's loved 2020 from start to finish.
Yep.
Everything going right for that dude.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying. I got Seattle in that one. Yeah. Carolina, Kansas City. Carolina at Kansas City.
Kansas City. Carolina just doesn't have enough to put up the points. The defense has been playing so good, but they can't score enough.
Defense playing well. It's going to be a surprisingly probably better game than we think. Detroit at Minnesota.
Detroit's going to win that game. And what's crazy is that the Detroit can now start thinking about the playoffs. I don't even understand this.
I'm going to go ahead and show off.
I was begging.
I'm going to go ahead and go. David, tell everybody where they can find you and follow you because, bro, I'm not going to sit here and talk about Detroit making the playoffs. I'm not going to do that.
I'm like, with the way they've expanded the playoffs, they have a legit chance to get in, and that's insane. It's insane. If Matt Stafford is doing this despite, and that defense has actually played better, but I don't trust Matt Patricia for anything. I want him to get fired. I want that man to lose his job. Please, Lions, do me a favor. I've been with you for 40 years. Please, lose some games.
I'm going with Minnesota at home. New York Giants at the Washington football team.
Daniel Jones versus Alex Smith? Is that what we getting here?
Pretty much. No, isn't your boy playing again?
Oh, yeah. Kyle Allen. That's just bad football, man.
It is.
I guess I'll give it to Washington for our friend Kelsey.
Okay.
We'll give it to her so she can have something good to do.
We'll
have
get
something nice to talk about. We'll give it to Kelsey.
All right. Las Vegas at the Chargers.
Vegas. I think they're more physical and more explosive. And I don't think that San Diego just hasn't learned yet. They haven't figured out yet how to close enough. That's their thing, is that they can put up points. They got really talented receivers, and I think Herbert is going to be a good quarterback. I don't know if it'd be a great one, but he looks like a good quarterback up to this point. But I think Vegas is still a little bit better.
I got Chargers in an upset. It's my upset special of the week. Miami at Arizona.
I'm going to give it to Miami. I like Brian Flores. They won despite Tua. Tua did not play well. I don't know why people acting like Tua played well.
No arguments.
But their defense again that's what they have to rely on. And Brian Flores has done a very good job with that defense. People are not walking up and down the field on Miami. And so I'll give it to – I like Brian Flores. I want that man to win some games. I want that man to do all right. I'm rooting for Brian.
Desert, though.
Huh?
In the desert.
It's still – look, Kyler Murray has just as good a chance of throwing 3 picks as he does throwing 3 touchdowns on any given Sunday.
I got Arizona. I can't believe I'm going with a Cliff Kingsbury coach team, but I'm going with Arizona. New England at the Jets.
Because it's the Jets. You could put the Little Sisters of the Poor at the Jets, and I'm taking the Little Sisters of the Poor by 3.
All right. I'm going with, as long as we're on the same page. Cam bounce back, they're going to get the win. The one I say for last, to me, is the game of the week. New Orleans at Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I just talked about that one this morning, and that pod's going to come out today.
I know you did. I got
a lot of.
Hey, when's the Dome Patrol? Was that yesterday or today?
Today. We recorded it today, yeah. Okay. So that's right after this, it should be up. But I have not bought it. I am not 100% in on Tampa, okay? And the things that I like about Tampa is all stems from the defense. I think their offense is, it's not explosive. People can look at the 20 touchdowns and 1 interception for Tom Brady, but that's what we knew could happen, that the reduction of turnovers was just a natural effect of having Tom Brady. But they're not getting down. They're not hitting Evans down the field. He's not making big plays.
You know what? Tom is throwing some deep balls again. They
have only 4 completions of 40 yards, the same as the Saints, fewest in the league.
I got you, but those have all come here lately, and he's also putting some zip back on it. Because, man, I'll tell you what, he lasered one into some traffic in the end zone last week.
But who are they beating?
I know.
That's what I look at. It's like Tampa has not beaten anybody of note, and they lost to the Bears. And
the Saints.
But I mean, that was week 1. Week 1. But you lost to the Bears 2 weeks ago.
It's battle for first place.
So the Saints do not historically play well in Tampa. We know this.
Okay.
This is usually a split series.
Okay.
But I think this is the first must-win game of the season for the Saints. Because if you lose this game,
that part,
you go the rest of this way, and I would say that Tampa would have the advantage of winning the division and getting home field, because the Saints still have to go at Carolina and still have to play 2 with Atlanta, which you never know what's going to happen when they play Atlanta.
Correct.
So winning this is paramount for the Saints this season. If they don't win this game, it's done. In my mind, to win the division, because I don't see Tampa losing 2 more in the division. You see what at that point. So they might lose 1 more, but they would have the even edge with you in the division. So I think that the Saints have to win this one. They get Mike Thomas back. I think it looks like he's going to play this week. Alvin Kamara, if he was a quarterback, he'd probably be MVP of the league right now. But on the road right now, it's like a 6-point spread.
Yeah.
I'll take, if we were gambling on the spread, I would take the Saints. But I'll call it even as a toss-up and give it to Tampa because they're at home.
Wow. Okay. I got to go who that?
They keep finding a way. I will give them that. The Saints keep finding ways to win games.
Yeah.
But that secondary, the secondary is their issue.
Yeah.
And so if they lose discipline against Tom Brady,
yeah, it's going to be trouble.
And Antonio Brown is now the 3rd receiver. He may only play like 15 snaps, but as the 3rd receiver.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So you had San Fran. I had Green Bay. We both went Baltimore. We both went Houston. Did we both go Tennessee?
Yep.
Okay. We both went Pittsburgh. You're going Tampa. I'm going New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
You're going Denver. I'm going Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. And I said Detroit, and you said Minnesota.
Yep. Both of us went
and
Seattle.
You said San Diego.
Both Kansas City. Both. What'd you say about Washington? Oh, we both are going with
Washington, and you said San Diego over. And I took
the Chargers over Vegas, and I went Arizona over Miami.
Yep.
Miami, and we both went. All right, let's see. Let's see. Keep your phone on.
That's right. Because you always send me, like, you always tell me you missed this one. And I get so many because I do on Thursdays on my IG Live with my man Trevor Ritchie. We do his picks of the week. And last week we got hammered. Because like I said, it was all upsets, things that were just so strange, even with the spread. And we went 1-3 on college and 1-3 on the NFL. It was bad.
Yeah.
That was the worst week he had ever.
Yeah. I'm going to shut down early. My allergies are killing me. You got anything college related you want to talk about?
I did a good podcast on LSU on Monday. We went real deep on them because I don't know when the last time we saw a national champion go from, arguing about being the greatest team ever to the next season. LSU might finish the season with 3 wins. Yeah. Like, that's a legitimate thing around here right now. They got 5 games left. Bama, Florida, Texas A&M, Arkansas, and Mississippi. The only one that they're going to be favored in the rest of the way is the Mississippi game.
Yeah.
That's it. The spread for Bama right now is 21. And I'll tell you this, LSU has not scored an offensive touchdown in Tiger Stadium against Bama since 2014. So
who's going to quarterback this weekend?
LSU's off this weekend. The game is next week. So it'll probably be TJ Finley again, the freshman. Yeah. But look, Bo Pelini is getting $4.6 million to do what he's doing to that defense. LSU has the next to last defense in the SEC.
Yeah.
With that talent, I don't care how many people you lose to the pros. Ohio State loses people to the pros every year. Bama loses people to the pros every year. Clemson uses people to the pros every year. They don't have these problems. LSU, the conversation we ended up having was, is Ed Orgeron the next Gene Chizik? You get that 1 year, and in the rest of the time, you're kind of fighting for your job at 9 and 10 wins. And then we also, the other big thing was, LSU imposed some infractions on themselves for the football program. We think that that's a precursor to the basketball program getting hit real hard. They're trying to cover for the basketball program. Basketball team might get as close to the death penalty as the NCAA might give.
And they should. I mean, it's bad. Arizona's coach needs to get it. They need to deal with your boy over there in Kansas. And I hate to say this name, Roy Williams needs to have some too.
Look, you could go in on Zion Williamson. That stuff that was really that case that he had. It was so lucky for Mike Krzyzewski that he didn't have to go get deposed. Because if Mike Krzyzewski had to be deposed, a lot of houses of cards were going to break down. Because you tell him every time, look, Louisville, we've seen in the last few years, right? John Calipari's done it twice. Tell me an elite program that ain't cheating and you ain't got an elite program.
Is Syracuse, is Clemson going to lose to Notre Dame this weekend?
No. Notre Dame.
They almost lost to Boston College.
Yeah. But they do that every year. We see that at Clemson every year. They have that one hiccup game.
North Carolina 1 year, A&M 1 game.
Notre Dame is never what we think they are. Every time Notre Dame's in the top 5 and they play somebody good, what happens to Notre Dame?
I can't argue with.
Shout out to my Wake Forest Demon Deacons. That's what I'm giving shout out to.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't have any respect for the top 25 this year. I don't.
What does it mean? Like you said, the Pac-12 is starting this weekend.
Right.
What does any of this mean?
Nothing.
You judging teams all on conference games, and so we're going to pretend that how do you judge the conference's talent? You have all these players who left. You have all this stuff that's going on. You got games getting canceled because of COVID. And it's just ridiculous. They shouldn't have done this in the first place.
They shouldn't have. Wisconsin's going to cancel another game this weekend. So it's crazy. It's crazy. David, for real, tell everybody where they can find you and follow you, man.
At DM Grub on Twitter and Instagram, the website hitpwithdg.com, and check out the podcast Hard in the Paint every day. We've had some great guests the last couple of weeks and some really cool conversations. And I don't think there's another show like it. Is particularly in this area, in New Orleans. I don't think there's another person who does it the way I do.
Yeah, you and Lisa Ray, man, that was fun.
Lisa Ann, yeah.
Lisa Ann, I'm sorry, I'm thinking my other girl. That was phenomenal, man. And she is the perfect radio guest because she just goes. I mean, she just goes.
The energy level was so high, and then it was a profound at times interview. There were things in there that she said that people have texted me and messaged me about and said, man, I did not know, or that was really, interesting. And that's always been my goal, is to find those angles that are deeper and more intimate, and have people really understand my guests and have a conversation. That's been the thing. It's like, I'm not here to just let them talk. It's let's talk to each other and find out what, where we're going with this. And there were 10, 15 minutes of that conversation beforehand as we just got to get to know each other. And it was just like, boom, the rhythm was there.
It's not about the interracial and that being just a no-go, and folks, just not being able to getting blackballed in the industry and what have you. That was eye-opening. I had no idea.
The comparison about the dehumanization in that industry and athletics,
right?
And viewing people strictly on their bodies as that's their value. Again, that permeates throughout society, and we got to stop doing that. And it's too easy to make athletes into avatars, and that they're just these things that you watch on TV. And those are real people, and there are a lot of industries where we don't look at people as human beings. We just look at them as a piece of our entertainment.
Yeah. Unfortunately, man, like you said, this is America. David Grubb, I appreciate you as always, man. Thanks, and we'll try it again on Monday.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and let me hear from you. Let me know.
Yes, I will talk to you real soon about that.
No problem, and if not, no problem.
I know, but I'm making sure.
All right, I got you. All right, y'all. I hate to do it, but I'm gonna wrap up early. This I don't know what is up with me and allergies and what have you today, but it's another one of those days. So, and I'm gonna go and get ready for Donnie McClurkin's up next with the Donnie McClurkin Show. He'll give you the best in gospel music, latest in the gospel music industry. Donnie does his thing every Monday through Friday from 2 to 3, and then of course you've got Erica Campbell and Griff in the mornings, Get Up Mornings. And then you've got Dr. Sylvia Cole, Called to Inspire. And then your boy will be back. No, that's not tomorrow. Tomorrow is, I'm lost track of time thanks to that election. Tomorrow will be Shiloh Radio. And then your boy will be back with Throwback Thursday. So as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Still wear your mask. Still wash your hands. Still sanitize everything around you. Be sensitive to everyone around you. And make sure you get people that are 6 feet. And when you see that racism, kill it, not the person, the racist. And, like me and David were talking about, you at least got to make the effort, man. We can't just let this thing go like this. So, again, y'all take care. As always, y'all, we'll see you tomorrow. All right, y'all. Sorry about that, but, man, I'll tell you, if y'all haven't noticed, my eyes just constantly watering. That's going to drive me nuts. So y'all take care, man. I really do. I love y'all. And for those who got out and voted, thank you. For those who didn't, why not? And I noticed I didn't say anything about who you voted for. Just the fact that you voted. All right? Thanks for being a part of the process. Y'all take care. Talk to you tomorrow.